Welcome to Just a Few More Minutes podcast with three veterans of the animation video game industry to talk about exactly that, animation and video games. This is our year summation. Best
episode 50!
Yeah!
Episode 50. New year.
Michael Berardini is with me. Pete Paquette is with me. We're going to do this. We're going to run down our favorites of 2017 and talk about our most anticipated of 2018. Our best show of the year, at least the one I like doing the most.
Yeah! Cheers, everybody.
Yeah.
Cheers. Let's get that fucking podcast energy going that I don't have going in, but we're going to do it. Clap.
That's because the last three episodes we haven't been doing it together. That lowers the energy for sure.
All right, so let's...
A little bit.
Did you say Pete's name?
Yeah, I said
yes,
you guys.
Yes, you did.
Okay. Hi, Pete.
Hey, Mikey.
This fucking snow sucks fucking balls.
Yeah,
it's pretty bad.
All three of us are in the Northeast getting pounded. Pete, I'm sure you're the worst of it. But
yeah, I think we have like 18 inches now or something.
Oh!
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
You know what sucks? I took this week off. I had a vacation today. That is just fucking gone now. That's goddamn snow day. We'll see what happens tomorrow.
Yeah, our daycare already called in a delay, so we're at least showing up late.
My kids are off again tomorrow.
Yeah, no doubt up there.
Yeah. Yeah, what is it? What are they calling it? The Genobomb or Bombogenesis?
Is there a cyclone in there somewhere?
Yeah.
It's dumb.
It's dumb.
It's like a Mega Man boss, right, Jeff? Right?
Yeah.
You like that?
They can get inspired for Mega Man 11.
It's like my Mega Man 11 boss.
Every podcast of Just a Few More Minutes starts with an animation tip, and this week is no exception. So we're going to do a simple one. Shooting
everything
reference.
might change in the future, but go ahead.
Well, I guess you're right about that. Well, for now, let me turn down the gain a little bit. I'm a little hot. One sec.
You're average.
Okay. Okay, so shooting reference. I think to get the best reference you can possibly get, it's underappreciated how important it is to set up your camera to be as closely matching your camera in your Maya. I think too many people want to jump in and do reference and feel like they're just going through the motions. And so they just set up a camera and just roughly do the motion, get it out of the way, and see what they can learn from any mechanics, slight mechanic stuff, see if there's any ideas. But you're really doing kind of a half-assed job and not serving yourself if you don't properly set up your camera to match your Maya, or get a buddy to help you out and mock in a camera. Like they can be like sort of a camera handler for you, or shoot your reference from several different angles. It'll really speed you up in the long run. Like I know it always feels like the early start of like shooting reference may take more time than you want, and you feel like you're not really doing anything, but I've always found that the more time you spend up ahead and the less you need to figure out in Maya, you'll end up saving a ton of time because it's so much easier to try ideas out, even if it takes 3 days to try ideas out in the reference room, than it is to spend 5 days testing an idea out and then you realize it's not right and you have to start all over again. So match those cameras.
Yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't in the first place.
Yeah.
People do it all the time.
I just don't get it.
Even on the movie we're working on right now, Michael, our director Nick had to give a reminder to the animators to, hey, if you're going to show us reference, match the cameras.
I mean, like, just make it easy on yourself. If you set your camera up perfectly, you just plop that shit into Maya and then you rotoscope it and you're done.
Yeah, man. That's what I've been doing for years. And I got nanny for that shit.
Yeah. So listen to Anthony Winter, Jeff Gabor.
In games, it's a bit different because if you're working on in-game stuff, you can't necessarily do that. However, I think the most important angles to get when you're kind of like recording your reference is the front and the side.
Yeah.
And try and, if you can set up two cameras and capture it at the same time, that's probably the ideal way. So
yeah, when I was working on cycles, like run cycles and that kind of thing, for Epic, I made sure I shot people from the front and then the side, and man, it's amazing what you learn when you do that. It's cool.
Oh yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's interesting too. Is like if you like the 3/4 is always more appealing, but if you get it working from the front and the side, it's almost like a given. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. All right, good tip. Good.
Let me just say, I hate reference. I don't like reference, but that's just my.
You don't like
preference
shooting
about
it, or
reference.
you don't. Which part don't you like?
Everything about it I don't like. I did not get into animation to copy myself pretending to be an actor. But that's just my opinion. A lot of great stuff out of reference. What are you sighing for?
I'm gonna cast you on stuff you need to shoot reference for.
I know. I'm bracing for it. It's just like
you just shit the bed there, dude.
I mean, there's no way to avoid it on the show we're working on, or literally any movie that's being made now. Like, that's just a larger conversation completely, but animation now and like the Annies and all the nominations, everything is going towards super, if not realistic, super like heavily observed animation where you get all those like little quirks and acting and stuff. And I've just always
supernatural, stylized natural animation.
Yeah. And I just like the cartoony, bouncy stuff more. To like, if I can get a weird smear frame in my shot instead of like a unique acting choice, I'll be happy. But that's just me. So there you go.
Well,
there you have it.
It takes all kinds. That's how I'm going to answer that. It takes all kinds.
Yeah, okay.
All right,
so
moving
are
on.
we jumping into this, or are we going to do news first?
Yeah,
fuck animation. We haven't been to work in weeks.
Hold on. For those people that hate the news, I personally like it. But if you hate it, this is a shorter news session today. So hold on to your butts before we get to the good stuff. All right?
Yeah.
Just listen to it. You may like it.
It's not very long. Not very long. This one is good news for people who own a PS4.
I do.
They have come out of the gates for 2018 with the PS Plus free games, like in a big way. This month's free games for PS4 is Deus Ex: Mankind Divided, Batman: The Telltale series.
Also sweet.
Looks like what's it called? Starblood Arena for the PSVR.
Yep.
What is that? Like a shooter or something?
Yeah, it's like there's a bunch of different like versions or modes in it, I guess, but it's basically like you fly around in space and you can play sports or shoot people type of thing. Looked pretty cool. I downloaded it. Didn't play it yet though.
Yeah, I downloaded so many PSVR games after Christmas. Anyway, so that's pretty much. There's a couple others, Psychopaths and Uncanny Valley, which are cross-buys.
Yeah, I started Uncanny Valley too, and it's just like your generic pixelated horror type game. Maybe I'll stick with it. Maybe it'll be better than what it is so far. But Mankind Divided, that shit's good. I have not played that, and I've been meaning to buy it, and now I have it for free. So
awesome,
sweet.
What is that? What is?
It's the sequel to the new Deus Ex series.
Oh,
where it's like yeah.
Deus Ex. I forgot I said that.
Yeah.
All right. So based off of what we said last time with all the controversy of the loot boxes in games, Apple came about right before Christmas and said that all apps in the store, all apps that have loot boxes of some sort, have to be completely transparent with the odds of winning, giving out like basically your chances of winning before you purchase anything. So that's a good step in the right direction.
Yeah, that's good.
Nintendo Power also returns as a podcast.
That's pretty cool.
We're fucked.
Well, I don't think we can necessarily compete with this. It looks as though the first episode actually features interviews with the producer and director of the Breath of the Wild. So yeah, we're screwed. Well, see, the first time in a while you've been able to get your hands on this. The original Maniac Mansion, not the NES version. The PC version is now on Steam. I've never played the original version because the only ones I didn't have a PC back then, but I only ever played the one for the NES, and apparently the one for the NES is kind of watered down compared to the one for the PC as far as like the content goes. But
yeah, for those that don't know, Maniac Mansion is a point-and-click adventure basically. So the idea that it was ever brought to the NES is pretty crazy actually, because point-and-click adventures on the NES kind of suck. But that's kind of the exception to the rule.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, it should be pretty cool. The other thing I'm going to talk about is actually, we'll be talking about it later, so we'll pass on this one. And then lastly, the Animaniacs have been revived with a 2-season order for Hulu, starting in 2020 with Steven Spielberg on board to executive produce.
That's so cool.
I know.
Who's making it? Who's doing it?
It says Warner Brothers.
Yeah. Warner Brothers Animation and Amblin Television.
Yeah.
See, I wonder if they're going to outsource it, though. The actual animation.
Yeah, I mean, didn't they do that originally anyways? I mean, I'm sure they did some keyframing in the United States, and then it was all outsourced to, India, China, something, whatever.
Korea.
Yeah, there's a better option.
Well, what we're seeing with all these like reboots and kind of a 2D revival almost is a really fantastic opportunity for the industry,
Right.
It's good for the industry,
Yeah. Like DuckTales and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't have whatever the Disney XD.
XD?
I don't have that, so I've never gotten to see the new DuckTales episodes.
Nope, I don't have it either.
Yeah, me neither.
Why would they limit it? Like, they made it such a big deal, and then they put it on this television station that nobody has.
Because everyone will buy it, and then Disney will rule even more of the world, Jeff. Duh!
Well, Disney bought Hulu, right, with us?
Right. The idea, I think, I would imagine they're using that as like... I imagine they're going to keep Hulu, because they've already talked about having their own digital distribution platform.
Right.
So I imagine for the people who have Hulu, they don't want to like shit all over those people. So
there you go.
We'll see. I feel like they're just gonna screw Hulu and like dismantle it and rename it and make it a whole new thing.
So you're saying they're gonna edit what's there?
Yeah.
I have a prediction. They're just going to call it Disney Hulu.
Just throw Disney in front of it?
Yeah. Done.
I'm trying to come up with a good pun, but I don't have any right now.
Maybe they'll call it Dulu. Rolls right off the tongue.
That's a perfect one.
And that's it for the news.
Whoa, that was fast.
Unless you guys have something else.
No.
Nope. I don't. Jeff?
No. Let's move on to our highlights of 2017.
Woo! It's the topic.
2017 highlights.
You guys
Episode
want to start with
50.
Movies or games or both? How do you guys want to do this? I'm excited.
I mean, you're excited about it, so how do you envision it, since we didn't discuss it at all?
We definitely did not. Well, I will say I'm most excited talking about the anticipation. I feel like, Michael, you're definitely the leader in taking advantage of everything that 2017 had to offer.
Sure.
I feel like I was definitely hampered by the having a newborn. Contributed. It just does.
Do it.
It's tough. And then bought a house. So those two things combined, it was like, I didn't get as much in as I wanted.
I actually got more in games than I did movies. Movies, it's weird, but last year I barely saw any movies.
Well, honestly,
I think I had a hard time coming up with like 6 of them.
I'm right there with you. Well, especially the movies. because I feel like our game of the month actually motivated me to play more games. Yeah, so I got a lot more games this year than I usually do.
I mean, I tried to keep a list of every movie and TV show that I watched. It only lasted like the first couple months, but that list was already like, I think I saw over 50 movies within the first 2 months. But even at the end of this year, when I was trying to put my top 6 together, like, there's a few very specific movies that stuck out to me that had to be on the list, but then it was like, well, I don't know. Like, I'm not saying it was a bad year for movies, because there was a lot of great stuff that came out, but there wasn't anything that, like, blew my socks off, save for a few things.
All right,
but video games were, like, awesome all the way through.
I'll jump in with my top movies, just to lead off. I'm just going to...
Are they in order, and are we going from 6 to 1?
Well...
No order?
I'm gonna ruin everything, because I feel like, Michael, you take the top 6. It's whatever, you know that thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna just throw fuck it. You know what? I know my top are on your list. So why don't you just go, Pete? Do you have an objection to that?
Honestly, I doubt any of the ones that are on my list will be on Mike's.
Oh, really?
And
as far as movies go, because I literally didn't see much at all. Basically, my list is what I saw.
And I honestly think, Jeff, that my top 6 movies, you haven't seen a single one of them.
Oh, schnookies. All right. Well, then...
you go first.
All right, since I only got 3, I'll chime in when
Wait, you only have 3?
All right, let me tell you how many movies I saw. 1, 2, 3,
you can count them on one hand, huh?
11.
That's almost double what I have.
I don't understand you people. We make movies for a living. Well, Pete, you make games.
This was a tough year, man.
All right, I get it. But, like, this includes stuff that you watch on, like, Netflix and everything, too. It doesn't mean in theaters.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's how
I wasn't shitting you. Like, you let me borrow Arrival for almost 2 years. I could not get to it. Could not get to it.
Yeah, I had to take that back. You completely lost your privilege on that one. All right, so let's hear your booty fuck shit top 3 movies.
All right, my top 3. And I'm including TV shows into my movies just so I can do it.
What?
Otherwise, it really is bad.
I have my top 6 TV shows.
See,
crap. I'm not ready for that.
It's fine. I'm the only one that takes this seriously. I'm just kidding.
All right. My favorite my favorite of the year comes down to Stranger Things, Lego Batman, and Logan.
Okay.
Are we going to talk about those on any of your guys' list?
Stranger Things is definitely on my list.
All right.
It's on a completely different list for me, though. So you could talk about it as much as you want.
Great. I'll say I finished the 2nd season today.
Because of this episode?
Yes, I was rushing to get it in. It was fantastic. Okay. No spoilers, but I actually quite enjoyed it more than the first season. And I know that's maybe the minority opinion, but I really liked the 2nd season. It was fantastic.
Let's just say from the get-go, let's not spoil anything that we talk about.
Great.
With that said, Steve's arc on Stranger Things was my very favorite thing of that season.
Yes.
Of first season?
No, the second season.
Second season, yeah.
His budding friendship, that like made me so happy. That was like the best part of that whole season.
Which one's Steve?
Steve's Nancy's boyfriend from the first season.
Oh,
the one with the pompadour,
big hair.
Yeah.
No.
All right. Well,
he was great. He was so great.
So then, what was your Lego Batman and Logan?
Lego Batman, I started watching probably a week or 2 ago, and I didn't actually like it that much. I thought it was like really spazzy and over the top, and I wasn't sure about it. And then I gave it another shot and started it over again and watched it. And I was like, man, what a brilliant take on Batman. The idea that they turned Batman into a relationship movie, was really smart, and it was well done. Really witty. A lot of jokes I didn't see coming, especially like all the cameos that started showing up at the end of the film was really great. So overall, very, very fun and great movie that lived up to, in my opinion, the Lego movie.
Yeah, I said when it came out, I thought it was funnier than the Lego movie, and I thought the Lego movie was very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that movie too. It was really good.
And then Logan, that was just, I'm trying to like back off on the superhero movie craze, but that was just a fantastic movie. Just so good because it didn't feel like a superhero movie. It just happened to feature people with weird powers or abilities, but for the most part, it was another relationship type of movie, just a father-daughter relationship. It was great.
Yeah, I think that was the best superhero movie of the year.
Yeah, hands down. Yeah,
and a lot of them came out.
I've been meaning to see that one. It was on my most anticipated of last year.
Oh, Petrie.
Yeah. Well, the kids dictate a lot of what I see these days.
That's true.
So I guess for me, Lego Batman's my favorite animated movie of the year. But notable movies that I didn't see yet, and I tried to weave it in before we did this episode, but I still haven't seen Coco. I didn't see... What's the movie? Breadwinner?
Yeah, the Breadwinner.
Yeah, so I didn't see that one either. And I didn't see Captain Underpants. So those are three major ones that I didn't get to see, so I can't honestly say that's like Lego Batman is the best animated movie of the year, but I'll do a better job in 2018 with the animated movies.
Sure you will.
Things have calmed down a lot. Like I've felt like I'm getting back into games. I'm starting to see films again. I'm like TV's coming on a little bit more. Like things are starting to get back to normal.
You watch Trolls a lot though. Mac likes Trolls.
Trolls. I didn't include the Christmas special on there, but
yeah, that honestly, was good.
You know what? One of my favorite movies of the year, and I didn't include it in my list, is Midnight Special, and that was because it came out in 2016. But goddamn, I really like that movie.
I think you had it on your list last year.
I mentioned it earlier this year.
All right. Well, either way, you're really late on the train on that one, but that's fine.
I know.
That's how life works when you have a child, apparently.
Someday.
Yes,
someday I'm going to laugh at your face.
I know. Maybe.
Yeah, see how you look all awake and shit? We're watching on the video here. Your eyes are all nice and tight and beautiful the way they should be.
Would you sleep until noon today, Michael?
Dude, no. I was fucking outside shoveling 18 pounds of snow.
Oh, okay.
So my back is really hurting, but my mind still there. No baby.
Animation tip
number
2: yet. Hire people to shovel. Saves your back.
That's not an animation tip. That's just.
It allows you to shoot better reference later because you didn't hurt your back.
Says the guy that had broken his back.
Because I shoveled. I learned my lesson. I'm passing on the information to you, Michael.
Great. Thank you, Dad.
Animation tip number 3: younger animators. You should probably, if you wanted to get paid, probably should have went to a different business. So.
Yeah, idiots.
All right, Pete, you do your list.
All right, so my list is literally. I don't even know if one of these came out this past year. I swear it did, but the Red Turtle was. Did that come out this past year, or was that late?
Technically, it came out last year because it was on my list last year, but officially, like the wide release was in January of this year. So,
all right, so I'm safe.
You're safe.
The other one is Stranger Things, obviously. Mr. Robot. I started watching that this year. That was fantastic. I'm still watching it. And I really enjoyed Ferdinand and Guardians of the Galaxy too.
Oh, a little Ferdinand love.
Yeah.
Guardians, I enjoyed. I feel like that's one of those movies that you had to see in the theater though, because like that's supposed to be pretty dang funny, but when you're watching it by yourself, you just get sort of sleepy.
Mm.
Yeah, I could see that.
That was my experience with it. But in that new Infinity War trailer for the Avengers, when they show up at the end of it, it's like, neat. This is a cool little tie-in. I like it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Who the hell are you? So go on, Michael.
Okay, so it's now time for ba-da-ba-ba-ba. It's Michael's top 6 movies of 2017. And I will be going in reverse, starting at number 6. A late comer for me. Never saw it in theaters. Really wanted to. Could not convince the wife to go. It's called It Comes at Night.
Is that a horror movie?
It's billed more as a horror movie than it actually is. And I think like when it originally came out, lots of people were upset that it wasn't very scary. And, you know, I think it came out in like March or something. So I just watched this probably a month ago, a couple weeks ago. And so I knew going in that it wasn't going to be like super scary, but it is still fucking tense as all hell. And, I cannot recommend it I cannot recommend it enough if you like that sort of thing. I know, Jeff, you're a big baby about that shit.
I kind of am. Yeah.
But like, it's the kind of movie that gets under your skin, but doesn't ever like have shitty jump scares. There's one jump scare in the whole movie, but the rest of it is just like tense, not knowing what's going to happen and what the characters will do to each other. It was really well done.
That's
then at number 5, oh jeez, Dunkirk. you didn't even tell me we were. You dick. Number 5 is Dunkirk, Christopher Nolan's war movie. Did either? I guess it's not on your list. Neither of you guys saw it.
I have. I just got the DVD of it. I'm gonna watch it.
So, and like similar to some other movies on my list, I didn't really love it upon first watch, but the more you think about it, the more affecting it is, because it's
it's like opposite of Star Wars.
Actually, it's the same as Star Wars because I saw Star Wars for a second time and I liked it more.
Oh, really? See, I saw it once, and the more I thought about it, the more I hated it.
Yeah,
that's the more you thought about it. What if you saw it a second time? Maybe you'd love it.
I don't want to sit through it again.
It is long, man. It's almost 3 hours.
Anyway, sorry to derail.
Anyway, Dunkirk, also almost 3 hours. Wait, no. Incorrect. It's completely incorrect. This is Christopher Nolan's shortest movie ever, and it was like an hour and 20 minutes or something like that. But like, it's not a very emotional war movie, to me at least. Like, I didn't connect with any of the characters. It's more of like what it was like to be in those moments with the people and just like feeling the shock and awe of everything. And like the sound design, there's one moment early on in the movie when the airplanes like fly over the beach. Are either of you there?
Yeah,
I'm there.
I'm listening, buddy.
I'm listening.
Oh, Jeff, your video went away and Pete's video froze. So that scared me quite a bit.
Oh.
Anyway, that airplane shit is so fucking loud. It sounds like it's blowing the fucking speakers up, but I'm sure it's super scary, like if that were to actually happen in the moment. And so that was just like a really, really cool moment. One issue with Dunkirk, do not like the structure of it. It should have been like, the story itself is very simple, but in Christopher Nolan fashion, he like twists it up and makes it a little difficult to even understand what's happening. And I didn't think it needed that. I'll be interested to hear what you think when you see it, Pete.
Okay.
All right. At number 4, Jeff. At number 4. Oh. At number 4. Oh. The Shape of Water. Directed by Guillermo del Toro. So this one is another one where as soon as I finished it, I was like, yeah, that was a good movie. I didn't love it, but then the more you think about it, it's like one of those movies that stays with you. And actually, my dad was just telling me one of his friends saw it, and she said that like 2-3 days later, she was still crying about it. So it's a very weird movie. It's almost like pro bestiality. Because
that's why she was crying.
Yeah, it's basically a love story with a deaf lady and a aqua boy. It's very weird, but it was very good and very well filmed and directed and edited, and the design on everything was awesome. All right, number 3. Hi, Deb.
She can't hear you, so.
It. Which I know Jeff will never fucking see. Yeah. But I thoroughly fucking loved it. I never read the book, so I don't have any point of comparison except to the original miniseries, which is cheesy as all fucking hell. And then you get to this new one, and it's like actually shot really, really nicely, and the color grading is great and everything. And it's got some real shitty ass cheap scares. But like, I just had a shit ton of fun with that movie, man. Like, that was probably one of the funnest times in the theater that I had, even though it was full of little teenage shits and their moms not taking care of them.
Yeah,
that was.
It's funny. Those kind of movies, actually breed that sort of a crowd.
Yeah, they do. And like when you go watch a scary movie in those theaters, I actually don't mind it, because like, when people are freaking out in the theater, it's like, oh, this is fun. We're all doing this together. And then when people yell at the screen and they're scared, it's like, ah, you bitch. I didn't yell. I'm a brave boy. My palms are sweaty, but I'm a brave boy. And now I'm realizing the majority of my list are scary movies. Number 2, Jeff, go. Bam. Here it is. You're just, come on.
Hold on.
Oh my god. All right, fuck it. You lost.
At number what?
2. Get out. Get out. Get out. Or as my mom kept calling it, go away.
Go away.
She couldn't remember the name of it. And we watched it over the Christmas break with her, and her reaction was, that was a weird movie. So weird. But again, this is one of those movies, when I watched it for the first time, I didn't love it because everyone said it was super scary, and I didn't find it very scary. It was very tense. But then I watched it again for a second time, and it's one of those movies where once you know the mystery about everything that's going on, then you get to watch the movie again for a second time, like knowing everything that you should. And that adds like such another fun layer to that movie. It makes it very enjoyable and interesting to watch.
I like the image that every time I try to load it up or take a picture, it's always that guy that's got his eyes wide open, like half crying. Like, why?
You mean like the main guy?
Yeah, like he looks like he's looking at a TV or something, or.
Yeah, because he's like trapped. He's trying to get out, man.
He looks very scared.
Well, yeah, he is. I suggest you watch it, Jeff. I think you could handle it.
Got a 99% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh man.
Yeah,
What does the audience say?
I don't know. I'm just looking at it. Audience says 87.
See, a lot of people don't like it.
Well, a lot of people are stupid too. But like, if I had to label one movie as like the movie of the year that summed up the culture of like U.S. society right now, I would say Get Out is that movie. All right, and now my number 1 movie of the year, prolonging my sentence so Jeff can do what he needs to do. Why? Oh, God. The problem with that is that your Skype keeps cutting out, so I didn't know if it ended or not.
Yeah, that's true.
Number one movie, Mother. Mother.
That's that Jennifer Lawrence movie, right?
Yeah, J-Law is in it. Javier Bardem is in it. Directed by Darren Aronofsky of Black Swan fame and The Fountain and Requiem for a Dream and Pi. Anyway, Mother, another movie billed as a very scary horror movie. Not really a scary horror movie, completely insane. It's a fucking crazy-ass movie that starts one way and then the third act is like fucking bonkers craziness. And lots of people really fucking hate that movie because of that, I think, because it devolves into such a crazy, weird thing. What I'll say and what I read is you can't watch that movie literally. You have to watch it as an allegory.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, you can't watch that movie sober. Watch it all fucked up in your mind.
I mean, I did watch it at a theater that served alcohol as well, so that could have helped. But like that movie of all movies this year stuck with me the longest, and I've still only seen it once. I've read the script 1.5 times because like they released it at the beginning of the awards season, so I poured through that, and I feel like I've watched it a bunch. Just got it on Blu-ray, and I can't wait to show Mindy it because like. I no spoilers, but I feel like it will actually appeal to her, even though it's a scary movie and she doesn't like scary movies. By the end, where it goes, I think it will be interesting to her and a lot of females. It is called Mother, after all.
Did they get Glenn Danzig to come out of retirement to do the soundtrack? Mother, tell your children not to walk my way.
No, yeah, that's the end credits song. And that is my top 6 movies of the year, everybody.
Great.
Congratulations on sticking with me. I love that Deb's just in the background, like casually judging me while I talk about all this.
I'm not judging you. Just listening because I haven't seen a movie since November of 2016.
15. 16.
16.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you saw one before Mac was born.
Yeah.
Like one.
Yeah.
Nice.
It is sad.
Yeah, that's what happens when you have kids. The movie thing just goes down the shitter. Although I gotta say, with the onset of Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime, it's actually getting a lot better to deal with. I think like you can actually see somewhat recent releases at least.
Yeah.
Oh,
if you can get
speaking
through
of
it, but like today we tried watching the last episode of Stranger Things 2, and it took us like 2 hours to get through an hour, show.
It's quite the life you lead.
Yeah.
I remember those days.
Yeah.
Pretty exotic and fun.
It did somewhat taint that last episode because it's like Elle's doing her thing, and then it's like, all right, pause it. God damn it, all right, she's about to do. All right, she's gonna pause it. Yeah. So.
Sad. 2 shout-outs that didn't make the list: Alien Covenant and Blade Runner 2049.
Honorable mentions, cool.
Yep, cool. I got loads of them. Oh, also, I forgot. I still have a bunch of movies that I still need to see that also needed shout-outs, okay?
Yeah, go.
The first one that I guarantee would have made the list if I had seen it, because I just know I would like it. The Killing of a Sacred Deer. It's the same guy that made The Lobster, which you like, Jeffrey.
I did like that.
I saw that movie last year.
The Lobster?
Yeah. I loved it.
Yeah, it's so fucking weird and cool.
It's so bizarre.
And then, let's see. I'll just run through them. A Ghost Story, 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri, Phantom Thread, which is the new Paul Thomas Anderson movie, The Disaster Artist, Call Me By Your Name, Mudbound, Raw, and The Handmaiden.
Yeah. A couple of those that you mentioned just came out, so it's tough to see them. Like, Call Me By Your Name, like, we both would have had to kind of gone out of our way to see it.
Yeah.
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 Oh, well.
Isn't The Disaster Artist pretty recent, too?
Yeah.
Yep. A lot of these are. I mean, that's the... Like, it's cool that Get Out is making its way onto so many top 10 of the year lists, because that movie came out, I think it was in January, and they always reserve, like, the award winners for the end of the year, like most of these, but it's nice that people are actually remembering that movie because it's so good.
Interesting.
All right, do you want me to do my top 6 TV shows since y'all just lumped that in together?
Oh, yeah. Do it, Michael.
All right, I'll do it quick because I'm the only one that talks about any of my picks. Number 6, Dark. The only thing I'll say, well, a few things. Number 1, I haven't finished the show yet, so I can't vouch for the ending, but it's basically a German version of, like, if you took Stranger Things and let the right one in and mashed them together, then you'd get the tone of Dark. And I'm sure you haven't seen Let the Right One In either, but like a very moody vampire movie. And it's mixed with...
No, I have seen the Swedish Let the Right One In.
You have?
I have.
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah. I
okay,
did it.
Well, good job. There's one movie that I would also lump it in with, but saying that would spoil it, so I won't. Number 5, don't do the drum roll, just go through. Number 5 is the final season of Samurai Jack. Anybody? Stop it, Jeff. I hate you. So, I grew up watching Samurai Jack.
I heard that show's awesome.
Dude, the final season was fucking awesome because, like, it grew up with the people that watch. Basically, it's been gone for fucking forever, but now it's like finally in HD and it looks fucking sexy and it's a lot more violent and gruesome than it used to. Because originally it was on Cartoon Network, so they could only do blood if it was oil. But now that it is now airing on Adult Swim, they can actually do blood. So, like, Jack actually gets the fucking shit beaten out of him and he gets stabbed and everything, and it's really dope. Number 4 is Stranger Things Season 2. Pass. Number 3, I'm almost ashamed that it's even on my list, but it's there. I can't deny its power. This Is Us.
That's made a lot of waves this year.
Yeah, dude.
Like, people talking about that show.
That was one of the shows that Mindy started watching without me, and I was like, I don't give a shit. I'll play my Switch while you watch that. And then slowly but surely, you get sucked in, and then, like, weeks go by, and you're through all the seasons, and you're weeping every fucking episode, and you're, like, hiding it so your wife doesn't know that you're crying, and then you're like, that didn't affect me at all. No, I'm fine. It's totally cool. So, yeah, if you need a good cry, be you female or male, watch This Is Us. Number 2, the final season of The Leftovers on HBO. I know everybody, like, sort of hated season 2 of The Leftovers. I thought it was really cool because it started to veer into more, like, sci-fi territory, like Lost did. And the 3rd season of The Leftovers, the final season, like, balanced that out really fucking perfectly, and it had a fantastic ending that it is, like, you can interpret it 2 different ways, but either way, it's super satisfying and makes perfect sense. So there's that. All right, and then my favorite TV show of the year, number 1, give me that drum roll, Jeff. This one deserves it, and now you're not ready for it. That's just great.
Skype keeps cutting out.
Yeah, I don't know when it stops, Jeff. The Handmaid's Tale. I had to get it in there. Jesus fucking Christ. The Handmaid's Tale worth... Oh, God. It's worth the price of admission for Hulu. Based on Margaret Atwood's book, which I never read. Mindy did. But it's basically very topical to the world that we live in now with Trump as president. And
now, isn't that the one with the? Isn't that a period piece, like a time period piece?
Sort of. It's basically they dressed up as they did like way back in the old days, but it actually takes place modern times, but they have gone back to olden day ways of doing things where it's a completely super sexist society that you can see if we go along the path that we are in like a 200% version of it, this is the world that we would end up at. And it's like dark and brutal and scary and sad and emotional, and it's like shot so well. It's like the most beautiful show on TV, guaranteed, hands down. So you should watch it. Someone else, not the guys on the podcast that I'm with. Avid listener who has time.
I've been writing all this shit down because I'm always like looking for something to watch, and I just end up watching cartoons that I've seen a billion times.
Yeah, I do that too. And then 2 shout-outs. Rick and Morty. I know that's been around for a while. This was the year that I finally watched all of it, and that shit's hilarious. And then Big Little Lies on HBO. As another one of those shows where I didn't give a shit about it at first, but then it grew on me, and then like it's basically all leading up to this crazy climax, and it's a very satisfying climax.
What was that one called?
Big Little Lies. It's got like Reese Witherspoon and Nicole Kidman and some other good lady actors. It's on HBO.
Now, you mentioned Rick and Morty. What are your thoughts on the toxic fan base of Rick and Morty that I've been hearing so much about?
I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of all of it, but I can absolutely see the people that thoroughly enjoy Rick and Morty, that they think they're superior to others because it comes across as a super intelligent, smart show, and I think it is, but it's not as smart as some of these fucking idiots think it is, and they think they're smart because of it, but they're not. And I don't know.
Yeah, like some of the stuff I've read that people have posted about it, like, you know, of like people on Twitter and stuff. Man, some of these people are fucking ridiculous with that shit.
Yeah, they are. And it's frustrating. It's like, even Dan Harmon is one of the creators along with Justin Roiland. And I follow him on Twitter. And he is like unabashedly opposed to the right wing and everything. And he does not like hide it whatsoever. And I think a lot of his fans backlash against him because of it and everything. And it's just ridiculous. Ridiculous, this toxic society that we live in.
I know. Crazy.
Who wants to talk games?
I want to talk games. Now, can I ask you guys a question before we get started? Yeah. I have a lot more than a few to talk about on my favorites list. I actually made a list of 6, but I ended up with a list of like 9 or 10.
Oh my God, I'm so proud of you. I'm so thrilled about this. So let's do it then.
All right, who's going first? I just wanted to. You want me to go first?
Yeah. Why don't you start?
Because I think you guys
zoned out right now.
I think you guys have like. We'll probably end up having a couple of these on your list.
Yeah, for sure.
But there's some on here that aren't. Yeah. So my very first game that I really loved from last year, or I think it was released the year before, but it actually came out on the Switch this past year, which is why I put it on here. It's made by Starquail Games, and it's kind of a breakout hit for them. It's called Tiny Barbarian DX. That game is a side-scrolling, retro-looking sort of it's like a linear. It's kind of like Mega Man, but it's got like the overview map of like Castlevania influence with it. So it's a linear game, but it's like it feels like a beat 'em up, but it's totally not. It's a hack and slash. You go around collecting coins, and your character is really small on the screen, so it really makes you appreciate the space and what they show the character doing. It really makes you appreciate that. It makes you feel more powerful, I think, because of that choice. My next choice was Sonic Mania. We had a whole episode about this shit, so I'm not going to talk about it too much.
Wow, made it on the list, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it made it on my list too, actually.
Yeah.
Damn.
The next one is a game that I played a lot with my brothers this past year. I was very skeptic about it when I started playing it. When I saw it, I was like, "Oh, I don't know about this." And it wasn't made this past year actually, but it came out on the PS4 this past year, so I'm including it.
Sure.
It's called Helldivers, and it's made by it's made by a company called Arrowhead, and they did the reboot of Gauntlet and another game called Magica, which ironically are all online co-op type games. But man, Helldivers is so intense when you're playing it. You have the enemies are very in your face, and it's basically a top-down shooter. So you have to. It feels a lot like what Ikari Warriors probably was trying to do.
Well, it's kind of like Castle Crashers, not Castle Crashers.
No.
Enter the Gungeon, right? That top-down.
Kind of, yeah. A little isometric.
It's 3D though.
Yeah, it's all 3D. And you have to basically how you get your power-ups and everything is they're all airdropped in for the most part. So you have to communicate with with using your D-pad almost like a Guitar Hero. So you're taking fire and you're trying to enter in this these codes, and it's so intense because if you mess up, in some cases you'll die if you mess up because you're defusing a bomb. It's just so much fun to play with other people.
That sounds fun.
And, so that made the list.
I never got to play that one co-op. I only played by myself, but it was super hard on my own, so I'm sure with a buddy it made it a lot easier to manage.
Do you have it on the PS4?
Yeah, because it was free 1 month on PlayStation Plus, so that's when I got it.
We should play it. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. So my next one, the next one on my list, number 3, would be Resident Evil 7.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah. That's on my list.
That game scared and disturbed the shit out of me, but it was really great. I still think about some stuff in there. It's pretty nuts.
Oh, but now that you have the VR, you should jump in and do that in VR.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Oh, no.
That is the penultimate experience, or the ultimate experience of Resident Evil 7, man.
Oh, my God. I don't know if I could handle it. I was sweating just playing it with a controller.
Dude, man. You got to at least try it. You should stream it in VR one day.
It's going to ruin it, though, now that you know it's there, right?
I mean, that came out in February. It's been long enough.
I can't imagine turning the corner and seeing one of those big mold things right in your fucking face.
And then you fucking blast it in the head.
That would I'd shit my pants all over my living room.
That's fine.
Or that part, there's still the one scare jump, the jump scare that got me that I still think about is right before she cuts off your arm with the chainsaw in the beginning of the game.
Yeah, that part.
That one scared the fucking shit out of me.
Yeah, and you could get to that point in mere minutes if you just pop it on the VR and play.
I really don't want
to. You're streaming that one.
Number 2 is Cuphead for me. I loved Cuphead. I'm still kind of slowly chewing away at it, trying to beat the game. But, man, I still haven't beaten that robot. I can't beat that robot. I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do, but I can't beat him. He kicks my ass every time.
Well, the good news is it does get harder after that.
Oh, great. The robot with the crane and the...
you're flying. You're in the plane at that time.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I didn't get very far in that game, and I'll probably never go back. The sad truth.
And my number 1 is Super Mario Odyssey.
Whoa! I'm so surprised.
I do have a couple of honorable mentions. Puyo Puyo Tetris.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
If you don't have that for the Switch, for me it's like a must buy, just because of the versatility of the fact that that it melds two games in one, and it switches out in different intervals, or you can mix it up or match it, or just play straight Tetris if you want, or straight Puyo Puyo. And it's 4-player versus. It's so good.
I'd never played a Puyo Puyo before, and I think that's like a really fun puzzle game on its own too. So this is a good little matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. And my other honorable mention, which is probably a touchy subject on this podcast, but for me it was Blaster Master Zero.
Yeah, you like what you like. I mean, you got Sonic Mania on that list too, so whatever.
Yeah, I can't include Blaster Master because I was hoping for it not to be just a new skin,
Mm. No, I know. It just it still sticks with me as far as when I look back at a lot of this list was mainly looking back, what really stuck with me? What moments did I remember from what game and stuff like that? And
right.
Yeah.
To me, that means a lot. So.
Yep. That's pretty much how I put my list together. Whatever I can remember on my own means that it actually affected me.
Right. All right. Well,
So,
I'll run mine down and leave the special boy Michael to the championship round.
I'm so special.
So I'll name my 6. I feel like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe can count.
Yeah.
It came out on Switch.
So definitely that's on my list because I keep finding myself drawn to go back to it. I really like it, especially the online play with it. It just keeps me motivated, and I don't know if you don't have if you don't let it drive you nuts that you can't always win, which you definitely can't. It ends up just being a really fun way to blow some time. I love it. It's so good. Yeah. Sonic Mania is on the list. That's been talked about enough. Resident Evil also, just because it really did it affected me. It's like, how do you not include that game? Because just like Pete, I can't stop thinking about it at times, just randomly. So it definitely left an impact. So I feel like it had to make the list. Mario Odyssey, so damn good. Finally beat. I was telling Pete before the mics went hot that I finally beat it. So good, and I'm actually having more fun now that the storyline is over, and that you get to do stuff afterwards. It's so good.
Yeah.
Then Cuphead, loved it. It was right up my alley of platforming challenge. I loved it. I like.
Oh, most definitely. That challenge was crazy, man.
Yeah. Especially, man, the second to last boss is so brain-numbing difficult that it was.
Which one is that?
It's the dice guy.
Oh, yeah, I haven't fought him yet.
God damn, so hard. It comes right after what you're on. You're on the robot flying dude. So the next one you'll do is the dice guy, and brutal. And then my favorite game of the year is Zelda.
Of course. Yeah. Zelda's a real keeper.
It's because I haven't had a game make me want to lose sleep like that game did. I was like, screw it, I'm gonna lose an hour of sleep tonight to keep playing. Other game motivated me to keep going. And then just as an honorable mention, I have Wonder Boy on there. That's definitely a reskin.
Oh yeah,
I love that.
Forgot that game. I forgot about it. That's a great game though.
It was good. I really liked it.
It was fun. I was frustrated by it, but it was very enjoyable. I forgot about that game too, but it's a good one.
Cool. All right.
All right. My top 6 games of the year. Why don't you do this for anyone else? Okay, so before we begin, I would just like to point out that 4 of my 6 games are on the Switch. So you guys should check your list, but I think we can officially call this the year of Nintendo.
Yeah.
I had Zelda and Mario, and if I were to end Wonder Boy, all three of those. Oh, and Mario Kart. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
3, 4, 5. I have 5.
Yeah.
Including my honorable mentions. Yeah.
So if anyone listening to this is on the fence about the Switch, obviously you need to get one because that's where a lot of hot games are. Number 6 on the Switch. It's been on PC for a while. Came out of left field for me. Stardew Valley.
Yes.
Dude,
I would include that this year too if I actually got a chance to play it. But
I'm
love that fucking game. Sorry.
I just got through my first year, and it's taken me like a month, and I've been playing it nonstop. So I can't imagine how many years. How many years have you gotten through, Pete, in the time that you played? I
don't remember.
No,
because a lot of since I played on PC, I've had to reformat shit, and I lost my saves.
Yeah, but it's like insanely fun how each season changes with each month. There's basically 4 months in the game, one that represents each season, and each month is 28 days, which, like, my one gripe with that game is when you start, you have literally no information about how anything works, and I had never played any game like that, so I was very confused about what I should even be doing. But like once you get into the swing of things, then you like start creating your own daily routine, and that with each new season you have to adjust your routine and change, and it's just like the stupidest fucking game. Like Mindy is very confused. Like I tell her, yep, I'm just picking up my mushrooms, then I gotta water my plants, and then I gotta go feed my cows and pick up my eggs from my chickens and make some mayonnaise, and that's my day. And she's like, why are you playing this game?
I don't know. I always thought the same thing too, because like I'm not a big fan of crafting in video games, and there's definitely a lot of that in there.
Yeah.
And for some reason it's stuck with me. I think part of it is the meld of story with those things.
Yeah, it's
with that sort of
structured
relaxing
Minecraft.
Yeah, that's that sort of story driven relax on the couch type of a game. It's,
And like pretty much all the TV shows that I mentioned, those were mostly all watched in the past like 2 months while playing Stardew Valley. That's the perfect couch game while you're vaguely watching TV. That's a really fun game. Number 5, Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Did not expect to like that game at all before I ever saw gameplay, but then I saw gameplay and I was like, oh shit, I really like these types of games, and I fucking love that game. Super duper
is it
fun.
True that it plays like XCOM?
Yeah, it's like it starts out like much easier XCOM, but then by the end you have a bunch of different characters, and obviously they don't die like in XCOM, but like they all have different skills and abilities, and by the end I found at least that I was doing really well when you try out different groups of teams and strategies, and it got like pretty difficult by the end. I really, really enjoyed it. Jeff, what's this look on your face?
I did actually play it. I
know, but did you not like it?
I didn't find it. I got enough time to get into it. Like, I didn't get it to the point where I lost even a single battle yet, so I imagine I'm not very far.
Well, and it seems like it should be a pretty short game, because I think there's only 4 worlds, maybe 5, but like those battles get really long and really tricky once you get to world 4 or whatever. Okay. But I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it has really good animation in it too.
Yeah, it does.
Shout out to the animation there. Number 4 is Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. We already talked about that. Number 3, Super Mario Odyssey. Already talked about that. Number 2, a game that both of you absolutely need to play, but I know you never get to it because it's way too long. Horizon Zero Dawn.
Man, that was on my most anticipated list. I'm so upset I didn't get to it.
Like, I can't say enough good things about that game. And, like, in a world... It's just shitty timing, too, because it came out the week before Zelda.
Yep,
and they're
exactly
both
why. Yeah.
insanely similar. And, Horizon, I had to restart twice, because I started playing it, and then Zelda came out. and then I started it again because I wanted Mindy to watch it. Then she didn't give a shit, and then I restarted it. But whatever. Like, you want a strong female character, an interesting world with an interesting backstory and characters, and like super fun gameplay. It has a lot of crafting that Pete doesn't necessarily like, but I think it works really well in this game because a lot of like all those games, you can combine different things and like power up the certain style of gameplay that you want out of it, and by the end you're just a fucking badass if you're like me and you collect everything. But games like Far Cry, where they're open world and you have objectives, but there's also the side stuff where you can like hunt animals to build a better quiver to hold more arrows and stuff. Like, that is to me the funnest part of that game, because all the creatures are super unique and they all have their own like tactics to taking them down, and there's a lot of really interesting weapons that you haven't seen in other games before. Like, my favorite, I guess this is not that unique, but my favorite is like you shoot an arrow into the ground and then you shoot another arrow and it just creates like a tripping wire for the big monsters that if you can like lure them across it will blow up or freeze them or cool. Set them on fire or whatever. It's like super good. I really love that game. Then number 1 is Legends of Zelda Breath of the Wild, of course. But like all 6 of these games, they made the list because these are games that I would say altogether, each of them have spent more than 20 hours on. And like, I've played a lot of games this year. I play a shit ton of games, but when I find a game that I really sink my teeth into for that long, that's a real good one.
Yep, definitely.
Okay, so then I have 4 guys that almost made the cut, but then didn't. Mario Kart 8, very much loved.
You're really good at it, too. It's fun watching and playing with you on that.
It's finally a Mario Kart I'm better than you at. Uncharted The Lost Legacy. The Lost Legacy, it was like, everyone thought it was just an Uncharted DLC, but I think number 1, it's just a full-blown Uncharted game that just doesn't star Nathan Drake. It stars Chloe, which is cool, again, having a strong female lead character. But like, the game itself was still 10 to 12 hours long, which is like the length of the first Uncharted game. And now they've ballooned. Uncharted 4 was probably like 25 hours or something, but I think 10 to 12 is the perfect length for an Uncharted game. And like, it has all the budget that Uncharted 4 did, so it was really fucking awesome. And then over the break, I played Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus.
Oh yeah, I want to play that.
Which, like, the gameplay, Jeff, you and I played it a little bit. The gameplay at first is like super hard, and I thought it was just because I suck at first-person shooters, but then Jeff came over and he sucked too. So basically, I played that whole game on like the super easiest difficulty setting just because the story is really good and the cutscenes are fucking awesome. They're like some of the best cutscenes I've seen in video games in a while, just because they shoot things really interestingly and there's a lot of use of like depth of field and focus pulling and stuff, which like it's just very unique. And then today I just started Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice, which is like it won a bunch of awards for acting and shit, and it's basically about mental health, but like you basically play as this girl and you've got like all these voices that are orbiting around you, like it's basically your psyche telling you, some of the voices are saying you're doing good, some of them are saying you're doing bad. And like if you go to the path to the left, they'll be like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you going that way? You should have gone right. And like it's super stressful because number 1, you have all these voices in your ear all the time, but then they also do this thing where like there's not a game over in the game, but if you die, you have this black disease on your arm that slowly creeps up each time you die, and eventually if it reaches your head, then it just deletes all of your saved progress and you have to restart the game from the beginning.
Whoa.
So like
shit.
So like every battle is super duper intense, and like the game doesn't tell you how to play the game. There's no button prompts, there's nothing on the screen, so it looks super cinematic. But when it throws you into those battles, Like, you just have to figure it out on your own, and it's super duper intense. And then they start throwing 3-4 guys at you at once, and like all the voices are constantly like, watch out behind you if there's someone coming up behind you, and you have to like always keep all the people in your view so you don't get lost and confused. It's really well done. So
I didn't even know about that game.
Yeah, it sort of came in under the radar. I forget the name of the studio, but they did that apocalyptic movie that Andy Serkis was in, and he was like a monkey guy. He likes playing monkey people.
Yeah,
he does.
But the game is really cool. I recommend it.
Cool. So, taking a break, speaking of Andy Serkis, taking a break from the best of, let's talk about possibly the shittiest looking movies to be coming in 2018.
All right.
I know where this is going.
So, most of them, I think 3 of these, for me anyway, is animation.
No,
really?
I'm so afraid you're gonna mention one of my most anticipated movies of the year.
Let's see. Paddington 2 looks like shit.
Okay, good.
Whoa. Wait. Let me jump in. I literally just watched Paddington today. That movie is really good.
Paddington is awesome. I love that movie.
Okay.
But right. Paddington 2 looks terrible.
I just spilled beer all over myself.
I don't know why it doesn't need to exist. That kind of shit just bothers me. Anyway, moving on. Another one that looks terrible is Andy Serkis's Jungle Book. Just sounds like a very bad idea.
Wait, he's directing it?
He's directing it. It's fully CG, all motion
Wait, didn't
capture.
Jungle Book just come out?
It did. And it was very good.
Well, they're doing it again.
It was very good. Yeah, they're doing it again. And it just sounds like a bad idea, especially since it just came out. And it sounds like it's just going to be all just all CG, super CG looking movie. So
wait, it's called Mowgli though, right?
I think so.
Starring Bagheera is played by Christian Bale and Shere Khan is Benedict Cumberbatch. What? Right.
This sounds
you have
like
a valid point. Good call, Pete.
Another one that looks terrible, and as much as I hate to say it, the Han Solo movie looks bad.
Yeah, I don't have high hopes for it.
Everything's pointing to it to be a piece of shit.
I don't like Ron Howard's directorial style, and I don't think it's at all similar to Chris Miller and Phil Lord, so I think he's just going to end up stamping his old person vibe all over it.
Yeah.
I lost faith in Ron Howard after The Grinch. Like, there were so many director problems in that movie.
Dude, yeah. We watched that again, and it's like, why is this movie so fucking awful?
Yes.
Yeah. It's really bad.
Mindy loves it, though.
Well, it has nostalgia for a lot of people.
Yep.
You know. Another one, which actually the trailer aired before Star Wars, and people actually laughed at it, was A Quiet Place. Looks really stupid.
Oh, that's on my most anticipated.
That looks stupid as fuck, dude.
It's such a cool premise.
Have you seen it, Joe?
A Quiet Place. Let me jog my memory.
So, Pete, tell me what it is.
It's got the guy from The Office, like the main.
John Krasinski. He's actually directing it too.
Is he?
Yeah.
The premise is you have to be quiet or something will get you.
I think it'll be fun.
That's it.
Doesn't that sound like a fun fucking movie to watch in a crowd with a bunch of loud people, though?
Well, I imagine watching it with the right people, any movie could be good, you know.
True.
Interesting.
So that's another one. Now here are the two like feature films. feature film animated movies that I'm not looking forward to. The first one is Romeo and Juliet Sherlock Gnomes.
Yeah.
All right.
No offense to anybody working on it that happens to listen to our podcast. Actually, that goes for anybody who's listening to our podcast for any of these shittiest looking movies of 2018. A lot of the times, or actually all of the times, I know that the animators aren't the reason why that movies end up sucking. So, the next one, and it's probably on Jeff's most anticipated.
Don't do
that
it.
I don't think looks good. Is The Grinch.
Okay, good. No, that's not it. That's not it.
Okay. I saw that they released The Grinch. I want to say on Christmas Eve, like the first glimpse you got of The Grinch, and it just looks. It just looks generic.
Well, I think they released the version of the baby Grinch when he's a kid. Did you see the actual adult version of him, though? Because that was released like probably 6 months ago. That's probably looking more like what you would expect it to look like. Because I know someone mentioned that to me too, and I was like, no, I think they said that's baby Grinch.
Yeah. That's the baby Grinch, and then they did release the adult Grinch as well. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It looks better than the baby Grinch. I'll give you that much.
Well, let's all agree that this baby Grinch looks a lot better than the fucking little midget Grinch from the live action one.
Oh,
you remember that little guy?
Creeps me the hell
I
out.
think that actor died.
Oh.
Yeah.
What actor?
That played the little Grinch, the young version of Grinch.
Oh, really? A kid?
I don't think he was a kid. I think he had... Because he was on some soap opera as well.
Oh.
If I'm remembering right. We could go back and look. But I'm pretty sure that poor guy, kid, whatever, died.
Josh Ryan Evans.
Is that his name?
Yeah, and he's still... Oh, no, he's dead.
Yes, I'm right. Yes.
On August 5th, 2002, he was 20 years old.
Yeah. See, he was no kid when he filmed that.
No. God, what a... Oh, why would they make... Oh, whatever. This is going to be the thumbnail of of this YouTube video.
Oh, poor kid.
Yeah, find one of the baby Grinch.
Okay. We'll put comparisons.
Yeah. All right, so that's it for my shittiest looking movies of 2018. I don't know how many of those you guys actually agreed with, but that's all my opinion.
Okay, one more to add that looks like garbage. Teen Titans.
I haven't seen that one. I love the cartoon, but I don't. Let's see.
Yeah, there's a trailer for Teen Titans.
It's when did it come out?
I don't know. But either way, it's just one more film in the list of DC movies that's just like, oh no.
Wait, is it live action or animated?
Yeah, live action.
Wow, that's not showing up at all.
Oh, it's not.
You're making shit up, Jeff.
What? No, I'm not. I saw it. I swear.
You saw it in a dream where you were fucking Starfire.
Teen Titans trailer.
Teen Titans trailer.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Oh no, it's fan made. Of course it looks bad. Oh, God. I have lost all ability to do this. I'm cutting this part out. I'm cutting this part out.
You fucking dumbass.
Oh man, we're all sitting here looking for it. Like, where is it?
Okay, I'll add one movie that I had high hope for, but the trailer just came out and it looks fucking shitty. Slender Man. It looks super generic as fuck and like really bad scary movie schlock.
Yeah, I probably could have called that just because it's like this. It was like this big like cultural phenomenon, probably about 5-6 years ago.
Yeah,
and it's based off a game. So,
well, the game is based off of an actual internet thing.
What, like a?
Like, I think it originally started with like a Reddit thread where somebody posted an old-timey image of just like a really, really tall guy. And then it sort of blew up online, and then the whole thing led into that. Like, it was a sort of a meme, basically. And then those two teenage girls or whatever, one of them killed her other girl, claiming that Slender Man told her to do so. But it was all just nonsense.
I didn't know. I always thought it was a game. I always thought that's where it started.
Nope.
Learn something new every day.
There you go. Yeah. Holy shit, I'm looking at a new image of Baby Grinch. This is like baby Grinch, not when he was a little kid Grinch. That thing is fucking scary as all hell.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The one that's in the blanket, or
yeah, the little like
basket.
Puppet thing.
Yeah, it's creepy as shit. Reminds me of the Ghoulies, that 80s horror movie.
Dude, I found an image of him just like hovering in blackness. It's so scary.
You have to use that for the thumbnail.
You got it, pal.
You must.
Well, one more reason why. What the hell was Ron Howard doing?
Well, not really giving a shit, apparently.
Creepy.
So before we move on to our next thing, what'd you guys get for Christmas? Anything good?
I got a lot of good shit, man. Let's see. Off the top of my head, I'm looking at it right now. I got a new camera slider for my camera to get some of those cinematic shots where it just pans a little bit. I got this new webcam that I'm looking at you beautiful idiots through. I got a giant fucking Apollo 11 Lego thing that if you follow me on Twitter, you could have seen pictures of. But that thing was like super fun to put together.
That's cool.
I got a sous vide to cook my meats with.
There you go.
A sous vide?
Yeah, you ever seen those? They're like, it's like a big white dildo that you stick in water. and then it heats up the water to the perfect temperature that cooks your meats to like the perfect doneness that syncs up to an app on your phone and everything.
Oh, yeah. That
Pretty
looks like
fucking
a big dildo.
Yeah. So, I mean, I got some Blu-rays. I got a lot of good stuff. What'd you guys get?
I ended up getting my grandmother. My mother-in-law always goes to yard sales throughout the year, and at the end of the year, she puts everything she finds as far as like old games goes and puts it in a box, and I unwrap it and see what she gets me. So every year, it's always fun to see. This year, probably the most notable thing I got out of the box was a PSP.
Oh, damn.
That was like fully operational and had like a huge stack of games with it. And she said she got the whole thing for like $1 or something like that.
Wow. Holy shit.
Yeah. I also got from my kids and my wife, I got a reproduction card of the Nintendo World Championships cartridge.
That's cool.
So be able to play that during the charity streams, which will be fun.
That is cool. That's fun.
What about you, Jeff?
I kept mine to clothes and that kind of stuff. So I got a nice Tecmo Bowl version of the Broncos like hoodie. So that's fun to wear around. I got some new shoes and
Yeah, that's fun.
That's cool.
Doble, he didn't buy it for me. I just haven't paid him back yet for it. I got a SNES Mini, though.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Very good. Have you played it yet?
No, I still don't even have it yet because I haven't been into work for forever.
Well, we gotta talk about that once we all get a chance to sit down and actually play and talk about it, because it's actually, the games list is amazing.
I can't wait to play Mario RPG again.
Yeah, yeah. That's a great game.
Yep.
I should also mention one of the coolest things I got, which wasn't a Christmas gift. I actually paid for it, but in a roundabout way. I'll explain.
Okay.
My friend Ron Pucciarelli actually contacted me around the time when the Super NES Mini came out, and he's like, "Are you interested in a retro Pi? I'm just kind of getting into like building these things." And I was like, "Yeah, totally," And literally, he talked about it here and there, off and on, asking me a couple questions about like what I wanted out of it and stuff. And then, literally out of the blue, I get a text from him. I want to say like 2 days before Christmas, saying like, "Hey, check your mail. A package just got there." So I went out there, and it's a little tiny package, probably about the size of a small, like if you took like a few DVDs and stacked them together. And I unwrapped it, and it was a Nintendo Entertainment System made out of Legos. But he put a Raspberry Pi in it, and it plays pretty much everything from before the PS1.
Wow.
So it's so well made. So that was really cool.
What do you mean everything before PS1? Like literally everything?
PS1, Dreamcast, 32X, Sega CD.
Wow.
Sega CD 32X, the Sega Genesis, Sega Master System, all the Nintendo stuff, a bunch of Atari stuff, Neo Geo, TurboGrafx 16. It's just insane.
Suddenly my SNES Mini sounds like a real waste of money.
Well, I'm sure he's mentioned it that he's doing it for friends, so if you guys were interested, I could talk to him. Maybe he could hook you up too.
Mayhaps. Sounds pretty neat.
Yeah, it's all HD too, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And it plays using PS3 controllers, Bluetooth.
Oh, nice. Damn, son, that's a pretty sweet gift right there.
Yeah, he totally went above and beyond with it. It's pretty goddamn amazing. But
good job, Ron.
Yeah, seriously. So anyway, anticipations.
All right, I'm gonna pitch something.
All right.
Okay.
Hour and a half show so far.
Uh-huh.
We only have just a few more minutes.
Not necessarily.
I know. Do we want to hold off the second half for another episode? Because I feel like this is the bulk of what I really want to talk about. I feel like this next half is going to take another hour and a half.
Oh, yeah, that is true. Because I got a lot of stuff to talk about with this myself, too.
Really?
Yeah, a lot.
Okay, all right.
Next Tuesday?
So, yeah, let's do it next week.
Yeah, let's do it proper. Let's do it proper.
What do you mean proper?
By giving ourselves the time to actually talk about, because there's so much stuff in terms of films and video games that I'm looking forward to in 2018, especially films.
Really?
It's going to be a good year. Yeah.
I struggled to come up with 6.
Really?
Yeah.
What did I...
That's why I put A Quiet Place on there.
I kind of had a hard time, too.
Well, I mean, with such great films that are fake like Teen Titans, I mean, I can build a huge list, apparently.
Yeah, you're just making shit up.
I am now worried.
3 Amigos are coming back.
Yeah, okay, let's give you a week so you can figure out if any of your fucking most anticipated movies are legit or not.
All right, what about games? You got a good list of games?
Yeah.
Dude, I got
all right.
1, 2, 3.
I have 7
or something.
I have 7 on the list and 2 more that could be on the list.
Right,
so
well,
we got plenty.
I have 10 games, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 movies.
All right, well then let's push it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
You just want to go to sleep because you're a dad.
I thought you were going to call him a dildo.
Lizard Island. I'm going to get to those.
What?
Yeah, I'm just making up movies now.
Oh, okay. Good.
Yeah, the Jurassic Park movie trailer didn't impress me all that much either.
I'm sure it's on Michael's list, though. Come on.
It's not.
It is.
It's not. If I needed more than 6, though, it might be.
What was the one, Jeff, you thought I was going to say at the very end?
Isle of Dogs.
No,
that's one of my most anticipated.
Yeah, all right.
Spoilers.
Yeah, it's a little spoiler. Stay tuned. All right. Well, we'll hopefully we'll do another episode soon. This has been episode 50, 2 years running, starting year number 3.
Fireworks. Wow.
Wow, it's been 50 episodes. That's crazy.
Are we on year 2 or 3?
This is year 3
already.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
And we're still shitty at this.
We've lost Subway as our sponsor again.
Yeah, we've lost all sponsors and half our viewership, but that's
You know what's great about this though is that like looking back at some like old things I used to do, like the retro game breaks and stuff, pulling those up and actually watching them years later is a lot of fun. And I can imagine like the same thing. It's kind of like we're making this sort of almost an archive for like our future family and stuff to listen to and be like, wow, what a bunch of assholes.
Yeah, I can't wait for Mac to grow up and hear Jeff complaining about how he can't see movies because of her.
Yep. She is the reason.
Love you, Mac.
Yeah, she's all right. Oh, hey, quick story.
Okay.
Sidebar before we end.
Little tangent. You know, there's Mickey Mouse running all over the goddamn our minds because there's a cat in the background there of Michael. Yeah.
I need your cat to come on over because a fucking mouse was running around my living room right before we started the podcast.
Oh, what'd
shit,
you
that
do?
reminds me.
What does that remind you of?
Yeah.
Nah, it reminded me that I saw a dead mouse in the trap like 3 days ago in my closet. I just shut the door. I gotta get rid of that thing.
Yeah, I gotta get traps now. I gotta get traps.
We had a dead mouse in our basement that I just apparently didn't recognize it or see it for like a couple weeks. Then Minnie went down there and immediately saw it. And I was like, I'm not going to deal with that. So she did.
You just put a little cardboard paper underneath it, go in the back, and then fling it as far as you can.
I mean, the
worst
cats around here would take it.
The worst I ever had to do to get rid of a mouse. Actually, it was 2 of them. I had these spider papers put down on the floor in my basement. And what they do is they catch pretty much anything that crawls.
Yeah.
I come down here one day and I see these 2 big globs on it. It's 2 mice stuck to the paper. And I tried to get them off and I couldn't get them off. So I was like, all right, I'm going to have to kill them. But like doing it humanely would be to actually end their life as fast as possible.
No.
So I took the tape, I shoved it in a
oh no!
I shoved it in a cereal box, and I put it on the ground in my driveway. I found a cinder block.
God!
And I lifted it up above the cereal box, probably about right to the top of my head, and just dropped it. And I didn't look in the box afterwards. I just got rid of it.
It didn't just fucking explode everywhere?
No. Luckily, no.
Wow.
But I like if I just threw them away, they would have starved to death.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's mean.
That's why you don't do the sticky traps anymore, whatever they're called.
Yeah, I don't do them anymore.
Don't do that, Jeff.
No, I don't do sticky. I had enough experience with that when I worked at Kmart because they used to do the sticky traps and we'd get birds on them and everything. It was so sad.
Yeah. How did you deal with them?
Threw them in the trash. Didn't look at it again.
Oh.
Well, that's episode 50 of the Just a Few More Minutes podcast.
You can look forward to more stuff like that in 2018. Happy New Year, everybody.
Yep.
Happy New Year.
New Year's resolution. More games, more movies this year.
More content.
More content. Actually, in terms of this year, I think we're going to switch things up a bit, so look forward to talking about that maybe on the next episode.
Yep, we have to talk about it a little bit, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before you fucking idiots hear about it.
All right, well, this has been Just a Few More Minutes podcast. We're three veterans of the animation and video game industry to talk about exactly that, animation and video games. Episode 50 down the tubes.
There it goes. Just shooting away in those tubes.
All right, good night, everybody.
Bye.
I think I'm gonna cut it before that. It was just awkward afterwards.
No, it's still going. It's still going.
Okay.
Well, you can end it now.
Well, I gotta still tell Pete to hit the music.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's
Pete,
not a...
Pete hitting music.
All right then.